In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the capabilities of the sguil framework on how it relates to session data and capturing that. Let's go ahead and open up our client, cd into the sguil directory, and fire up the client. We'll log in. I just want to point out this window again that if we had more than one sensor on the network, it would be listed here. We could look at a particular segment of our network by just selecting that particular sensor, or we can have a correlated view of all events that are taking place on our network and all sancp sessions, i.e. session data, on our network as well. But for this example, we just have the one sensor IP, so we'll go ahead and look at that data. If you remember from the last video, we had our escalated events column, and we'll go ahead and work with this just to continue on what was done in the first video. But we want to look at some session data dealing with this particular IP. So let's go ahead and click on Query, and we'll query by IP. We'll bring this down here, and we'll type in our IP address that we want to investigate. And in this case it's a destination, so we can select destination. We could look at all events that are related to this IP in the event table, but we want to look at the sancp table where all the session data is stored. So let's go ahead and click Submit and take a look at what we have. We have 0 rows returned. Let's dive into this and see why this is the case. If we look here, we can see that the default time is just within the last 24 hours. So we can just go ahead and change this and look again for our particular any records in the sancp table dealing with session data with this destination IP. Let's go ahead and click Submit, and here are our 2 rows. This also correlates up to the event data here with this one alert and this one alert. So let's say I wanted to investigate a little further. So far I'm just looking at this IP as a destination. Is there any data within the database that shows this particular IP as a source? So let's go and look at our query by IP again. This time we're going to leave source selected and query our IP that we're investigating. And again, we want to look at the sancp data. If we submit that, there's nothing there. Again, we want to go back and edit and take a look at the last couple of weeks or so. And we'll submit. And here we have a little more information about what was going on in the network. We can see it's using all TCP to communicate, and there's a number of sessions that had occurred with this particular IP being the source. We could take a look at one here. Again, the capabilities are found within the connection ID. We could look at the transcript data. Let's take a look at that. We can see our P0F information listed up here. And we can see just some strings or ASCII values based on what's in the packet data. This doesn't seem to show a whole lot, so we'll go ahead and close this, and we'll take a look at the Wireshark data. This is all helpful for investigating. I mean, we have all the records or sessions that had taken place between this particular host, i.e. our sensor, and the particular destination or the endpoint. And all the capabilities are here for looking at the actual PCAP data. Let's take a look at the records here. Here's our SAN, SYNAC, ACK, and then some data. Here we can see the user X wanting to log in. This almost looks like some FTP transactions with a password as well. Not quite sure what's going on here. We could actually take a look at some retransmissions, duplicate ACKs. There's the FINAC. Let's go back up to our pushes here. Just a bunch of 0 null bytes, which is interesting. And you can see you can find a lot of interesting traffic that goes on the network. So let's take a look at another one. These are just showing the capabilities that are within the sguil client. Again, that relates to an analyst job. The more data again that you have, the better it is to do some investigations. Although it looks like it's the same traffic over and over. It looks like here's the 3429 source bytes, same here. Let's look at these. Let's look at this record here. Pull the transcript down. Here's our alerts. It's wanting to access our honeypot again. So we'll go ahead and end this investigation. Since it's looking at our honeypot, what we could probably do is go ahead and filter this IP in all of our firewalls, ingress and egress, so that no hosts can get access to this particular IP. The last thing I want to show you is that this window down here, this shows you the number of flags that have occurred over the entire duration of the session between the source IP and the destination IP. We can see our SYN is marked, our ACT is marked, our push and our ACK and our FIN. These are all normal TCP transactions. There's a setup, there's an exchange of data, and then there's a teardown. All of these are going to be correlated within this view here, showing what had taken place. And again, this is just with TCP traffic because that's what these flags represent. So we'll go ahead and conclude this video.